Dear students, as part of the paper on fertility, the module covers the issues related to fecundity, birth order, parity and sterility. We need to understand what is the major difference that is there between fecundity and fertility. Fecundity may be defined as the biological capacity of women to reproduce. Girls who have reached puberty, usually around the age of 14 to 15 years, develop the capacity for bearing children. Usually, women in developing countries produce babies from the age of 15 years up to 45 years of their age. In the developed world, the reproductive span extends from 15 to 49 years. As we see, the fecundity can be measured as fecundability. That is, fecundability is a measure of the probability of conception. Not every act of intercourse or sexual union results in conception. Even in the absence of contraception, not all pregnancies result in childbirth. We can measure fecundability as the probability of conceiving during a month or a menstrual cycle in which a woman is sexually active life without using any family planning method. If we look at the value of fecundability, like any probability measure, it usually lies between 0 and 1. Fecundity and fecundability are very important because biologically, when the number of children, the woman has a capacity to produce children, and what actually comes out through fertility, there is a huge difference that exists when we see across different countries or different communities. To that extent, we need to understand the differences that exist in the levels of fecundity and the fertility, and we can easily attribute what are the factors that contribute for such differences and how the differences can be attributable for each of these factors when we are dealing with especially the measurements of fertility. In that context, fecundity is an important area that requires our attention. In this regard, we need to know about the concept called use of time to pregnancy in pregnant women, which is a surrogate measure of fecundity. Usually, we know that as fecundity is determined, the expected length of time from starting unprotected intercourse till conception, it is usually called as use of time to pregnancy. To properly estimate fecundity, complete follow-up after a well-defined starting time is needed, or a modified case cohort design must be used. Follow-up studies are, however, expensive and difficult to perform, since pregnancy planners are few at any given point of time in most of the populations. For this reason, the time to pregnancy measures are often used only in pregnant women, since these women are easy to identify due to their frequent contacts with the healthcare system, and most of them can recall time to pregnancy accurately. These time to pregnancy measures have been extensively used in internal comparisons and to identify risk factors or changes in fecundity over time. In principle, comparable persistence in trying to become pregnant between regions and over time is required for a monitoring system to provide unbiased results, which are based upon the time to pregnancy measures and also which are there usually as unrealistic assumptions. The wish to continue a pregnancy attempt may differ over a time between populations or between subgroups defined according to a given determinant. Obviously, a change of partner or a divorce usually terminates a pregnancy attempt. Such events are probably rare shortly after the beginning of a waiting time to pregnancy, but will be more frequent over longer waiting times. Changes in income, housing, and job situations could play a role in this regard. The importance of these potential determinants of duration of pregnancy attempt will partly depend upon their prior desire to have a child, which may be a function of parity and age. Whether the described sources of bias explain the observation of a shorter time to pregnancy among older women in pregnancy-based samples is not known, but it is a possible explanation, and as shown in figure, there exists a differential persistence that needs to be noticed. The older the couple, the more difficult it may be to make a room for a pregnancy, and many will have children already. Longer the time to pregnancy in young couples could of course also be due to a declining fecundity for younger birth cohorts. It should be well accepted that time to pregnancy does not provide estimates of fecundity. Still, it may be a useful measure for identifying the various determinants of subfecundity if these determinants have no impact on the persistence in trying to become pregnant. Caution is especially needed when the time to pregnancy are compared over long time periods, since time is likely to change both proximal and distal determinants in pregnancy planning behavior. In affluent societies which experience low fertility and also have a good opportunities for treatment, an increasing persistency in trying to achieve a pregnancy is probably to be expected. This may lead to an increase in time to pregnancy even if fecundity remains unchanged over a period of time. The second component in the fertility domain when we are discussing is about birth order. A great deal of interest is given to the birth order in fertility analysis because of its indirect implications to population growth. In bearing first and second child, parents are merely replacing themselves. Bearing a third, fourth or higher order child is a contribution to population growth. The greater the proportion of births that are of higher order, the higher is the birth rate. Similarly, we need to understand that a married woman having no live birth child is said to be of parity 0. Live birth order, on the other hand, refers to the live born child or event of birth. If it is the first time born child of woman, then the corresponding birth order is 1 and so on. Thus, the parity begins with 0 while the birth order begins with 1. So, usually the numbering is like parity starts from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. In the case of birth order, starting is 1, 2, 3, 4. Note that all women of parity I at time t do not necessarily give I plus first order births at time t plus 1, as some would remain in the ith parity. We also should know in this regard that the average birth order and proportion of births of any specific order requires our attention. The births occurring in 1 year in each area can be classified by the age of the mother and the order of birth. This relationship is very important for us to understand. For instance, in the table, if you look at, there are different age groups of women starting from 15 to 19 of 5-year age group, 20 to 24, 25 to 29, 30 to 34, 35 to 39, 40 to 44, 45 to 49 age groups, and the total of summation of all ages. And if we cross tabulate with the order of birth, say for example 1 birth order, 2nd birth order, 3rd birth order and 4th birth order, the distribution of the data for each age group of mother, if you distribute the order of birth, then it should be usually denoted as first birth order corresponding to age group of 15 to 19 will be notified as B11, and if it is second birth order in the same age group of 15 to 19 years, it will be should be denoted as B12, third birth order B13, fourth birth order B14. Similarly, if age of mother refers to 20 to 24 years, then in the first birth order it should be referred as B21, second birth order B22, third birth order B23, fourth birth order B24. In the age group of 20 to 25 to 29 years, the first birth order refers to B31, second is B32, third is B33, fourth is B34, and go on like this. For each of the age group of mothers, we can corresponding order of birth can be depicted from 30 to 34 onwards in the similar way. And if we look at all ages, birth order refers to say B1 for the first birth order, B2 for the second birth order, B3 for third birth order and B4 for the fourth birth order. The average birth order and the proportion of higher orders can be calculated by the age of the mother or for total woman. This information can be used for various comparative purposes even when the registration system is incomplete. They are, however, subject to many limitations and should be used with caution. What are the issues related to when we are presenting through proportion of births of order L is equal to Bi divided by B, where Bi represents births of order I and capital B with the total number of births during the same interval of time. So, the sum of all Bi's is equal to B. The other aspect which we need to know about in the measurement of birth order is through order specific fertility rate, usually denoted as a OSFR. It is defined as number of births of the order I per 1000 women of childbearing ages. In notation form, OSFR is equal to Bi divided by W 15 to 49 multiplied by 1000, where W 15 to 49 years be the total number of women in the age group of 15 to 49 years. Note that the sum of OSFRs over all orders equals to GFR. GFR, this general fertility rate, is equal to summation of Bi divided by W 15 to 49 years, summation of I from 1 to n and multiplied by a constant of 1000, with n being the maximum order of birth. The other measure of birth order is usually titled as order age specific fertility rate, or in short form OASFR. This is the number of births of order I to women of age X per 1000 women of age X. In notation form, OASFR is equal to Bix divided by Wx multiplied by 1000, where Bix be the number of births of the order I in women of age x, Wi be the number of women of age x. Note that summation of OASFR is equal to sigma Ix bracket W Bxi divided by Wx and multiplied with 1000, which is equal to ASFR. The other rate refers to parity related one, that is parity specific fertility rate, usually denoted as PSFR. This is the number of births of order I per 1000 women of childbearing age of parity I minus 1 and is calculated as PSFR is equal to Bi divided by Wi minus 1 multiplied with 1000, where Bi is the number of births of order I and Wi minus 1 of 15 to 49 years are the total number of women of parity I minus 1 in the age group of 15 to 49 years. The other measure is titled as age parity specific fertility rate. When we want to specify the parity wise the fertility rate and with reference to each age group, then it is called age parity specific fertility rate and denoted as APSFR. It is the number of births of order I to per 1000 women of age x and parity of I minus 1. In notation form, APSFR is equal to Bi of x divided by Wi minus 1 of x and multiplied with the constant k, which refers usually to 1000. The above rates may be computed either as on a period or on a real cohort basis. They may be computed with respect to all women or with respect to only married women also. The other is important that we need to know is the relation between birth order and parity. The equation is number 5, which was cited earlier, without the multiplying factor is the relation between birth order and the parity. Similarly, the other ratio which we need to understand is the parity progression ratio, usually in abbreviation form is denoted as PPR. The term parity progression ratio indicates the extent to which women progress from one parity to the next. In a probabilistic sense, we can say that the parity progression ratio PPR indicates the chances for a woman of a parity I to go to a higher parity, obviously by having an additional child in a year, refers to parity progression ratio. The other aspect which we need to understand in these measurements is about sterility. Sterility can be of several types. They are broadly categorized as functional sterility, primary sterility, secondary sterility. For instance, primary sterility refers, it may be congenital or acquired. The major etiological factors of sterility are presented below. Functional sterility, the contributory factors mainly refers to the impotence of husband, non-occurrence of coitus, vaginismus, dyspareunia, sexual incompatibility. These are all the contributory factors which influences the functional sterility. The next aspect which we need to understand in the area of sterility is the primary sterility, which mainly includes congenital malformations, that is absence of vagina, atresia and stenosis of uterus, fallopian tubes and inflammation of ovaries tumors. The third aspect is about secondary sterility. The causes are similar to the ones described above. The significant number of women fail to produce children for physiological reasons. Owing to nutritional reasons, a few girls may not attain puberty or puberty may be delayed. In other words, the fallopian tubes may be blocked. Some girls may have branched uterus. These are all the factors which we need to understand that contributes for primary and sterility and secondary sterility. For instance, the existing literature showed that the stressful conditions like poverty, heavy work, malnutrition, low socioeconomic status and other factors are the major causes of primary sterility. In few cases, some women reach menopause early due to malnutrition and various diseases that they experience in different points of time. This condition is called a secondary sterility. In summary, needs to be understood that in this module we have discussed at length the fecundity, the birth order, the parity and sterility. We started our discussion to understand the major difference that exists between fecundity and fertility. Fecundity refers to the biological conditions of women to have the number of conceptions, whereas in the case of fertility, it is the actual performance of a woman towards having children. The major contributory factors for fecundity we were able to understand, and the levels in which this order of birth and parity and the sterility, how they have to be measured are also have been discussed at length. As we saw that birth order is an important aspect where the order of the child of birth which is discussed refers to the birth order refers to the child, and the parity of giving birth is usually, which is also as an attempt of understanding that a married woman having no live birth child is said to be of parity 0. We need to understand the difference that exists between parity and birth order. For instance, a married woman having no live born child is said to be of parity 0. Live birth order, on the other hand, refers to the live born child or event of birth. If it is the first time born child of woman, then the corresponding birth order becomes 1. Parity begins with 0, while the birth order begins with 1. And there are different measurements we need to understand, like proportion of births of order I. The second is order specific fertility rates, usually denoted as OSFR. Then order age specific fertility rate, when we are referring the fertility rates with respect to the birth order and again with respect to specific age. Then parity specific fertility rate, which usually refers to the fertility rate for each of the parity. Within the parity again there should be age parity specific fertility rates, and also we need to know about the parity progression ratio, which is usually the term indicates the extent to which women progress from one parity to the next is another measurement which we need to understand. Then lastly, about the various types of sterility, like functional sterility, primary sterility and secondary sterility. This needs to be discussed.